How do?
Hello, hello. No,
How are we all?
there's no fantastic place for me to put my webcam, so this is unfortunately the angle you'll have me at.
You look beautiful, mate. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
Oh, thank you very much.
How are we all?
I'm great. How are you,
Oh,
man?
very well, thank you. Very well. Yago, it's nice to see you on a Friday, mate.
Yes, not only that, I'm also early, which is rare in me, I think.
That you're here at all is a treasure. How are you, Said?
Hot. I'm hot.
You are. That is true. What about the temperature?
It's also hot. Yeah.
I love it.
How are
What are you
you?
guys working on today? I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm just working away. This is the last call of my day. And then I get to lift the desk up and just down tools for the evening before it starts again tomorrow. So it's all good. It's all good, mate.
Good.
Have you guys had a chance to poke around the new place? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been fun.
it's
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
good. Good. I'm
Anything with
glad.
points and gamifying stuff, I'm like, oh my god. I get obsessed.
I mean, brilliant, brilliant. I mean, that's going to be the kind of the nature of the program. I'm hoping, and it is only a hope because I have no information that will support it otherwise. Um, I'm hoping that the more people that step into the place, the fact that it is gamified, no matter what level that you're on, because we've got the general part that's open to everyone, and Axiom that's obviously the movement over from school. I'm hoping that the point system will kind of spur everyone on and get into the spirit of the challenge, because it's not well, at least to me, it's not about like gold medals and all of that kind of thing. It's more about, all right, I got in 3 points today. Sweet. I wonder if I can get in 4 points tomorrow. You know
Sure.
that
Yeah.
that 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 type of thing. And yeah, Paolo, that's a lovely ceiling.
Oh, hello. Sorry,
How's
I
it going,
just
mate?
good. How about you? Nice to see you.
I'm very well. Nice to see you as well. Nice to see you too. Just so you know, your messages in the community came up as Paul rather than Paolo.
Oh, that's fine. Just I think yeah, doesn't matter.
I mean, if you're not bothered, mate, it literally doesn't affect me. So if you're not bothered, then that's totally fine. But yeah, I was just saying to the guys that my hope is that the fact that everything is gamified and points and different levels and that kind of thing. Obviously, it's less a first person shooter or a kind of Tomb Raider-esque game. That is the length and breadth of my gaming knowledge, but it's more of a an interaction based kind of thing. My attempt at the dopamine streak of Duolingo or something like that. But with the option to put it down, because you can also get points for resting, but they're brownie points. You can't actually see them scored on the board. Saeed, how's your 100-day thing going, mate?
Good, good. I missed the last day because I was traveling. I came home, then we practiced at 2 a.m. for like 4 hours, something like that. So
You, wait, you chose to start practicing at 2 a.m.
yeah, with Yago and others from group.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I always forget to do those practice on the 100 days challenges or something. Like day 15, I forgot 3 days ago, and I said, "Oh,
The 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 good thing about those challenges, I was talking to Saeed about it last time. The good thing about those challenges is it kind of reveals flaws in our mindset. in general, and that we go, oh, I've missed a couple of days, screw it, I'll I'll go and carry on, even though you are now aware of it. The great thing, only my opinion, bear in mind, only my opinion, the great thing about the extended challenges is that it's, I don't know, like 10 minutes out of your day, and if you miss one, two, 10, who cares? Just pick it back up when you remember. That's the nature of it. Nobody's going to be like, you didn't check in on the register today. Like, there's none of that. Learning of any kind should be fun. It should be playful, right? You shouldn't open a book and go, oh God. I've got books sitting here, like literally within my grasp, that I haven't been able to open yet because I'm too busy working. I've got my first YouTube video, like the extended YouTube videos, like the kind of the 10 to 12 minute ones. Depending upon how much I can get done on Sunday, should be ready on Tuesday. It was in response to the first challenge that we did in the paid part, which was, it's in the rules for everyone now in this community, which is that when challenges come in, if you have the time, you take them. None of the, oh, I can't because I can't because if the challenge comes in, you take it. Simple. Because I would rather, and this is again my opinion, I would rather take a challenge and learn from it than be scared of it and run away because I want to succeed or think I might fail or whatever it is. So to that end, in the very first Cerebral social we ever did, this guy called Joe, he goes, I challenge you to learn Tokipona. I was like, first of all, what the hell is that? What is that? It was like, it's a language. Oh, great. I don't want to learn another language. I don't want to do it. He's like, it's okay. It's the world's smallest language. It's only 140 words. Oh, okay. I can do that. So I spent I spent a day in total, 24 hours, learning Tokipona, and that's the kind of the basis for the videos. I learned an entire language in 24 hours, kind of, kind of. Because technically speaking, on paper, we're all right. On paper, it is an entire language, and it is 24 hours. I'm just playing kind of fast and loose with the fact that it is the world's smallest language. Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, that's the nature of it, and that's why the more chats we do together, guys, the more that you will understand that I will just talk incessantly, unless someone else joins in. That with the extended challenges, it's about just sticking to it. It doesn't have to be 100 days in a row. My 100-day video series wasn't 100 days in a row. there were a couple of days within that I missed, and I could have gone, well, screw it. I started to that end. I started work on the hardest literary puzzle that's ever been made, and I put the series down as episode 1 in a series. That was maybe 2 years ago. Like I still work on the puzzle. I'm just not committed to the video. Just because people want to find out what I'm working on with it, great. That doesn't affect my connection to the commitment of building a habit around personal growth at all. What are you doing? Sorry, my dog has just decided she's going to try and eat the sofa. Yeah, I'm judging you. Why? Okay, she can't communicate. But yeah, that all that is to say, gents. Paolo, say it to anyone else. If it is that you forget a couple of days, doesn't matter. Forgive yourself. I'm sure Thor or whoever it is that you worship will forgive you too, and just get back to work. Get back to work. In
So the
here we are.
literary puzzle, is that the what was it, House of Leaves? Is that the right name?
no, Kane's Jawbone.
Oh, interesting. I'll look this up.
Kane's, yeah, it's a murder mystery. Shock horror, I know, but it's a murder mystery. It's over 100 pages, but it's printed out of order. So all 100 pages are out of order. And so your challenge is to resolve the right order and figure out who killed who, because it's not just one killer that kills everyone. It's an interwoven mystery that way. So I think there are
Oh my gosh.
there are 4 or 5 victims and like 5 or 6 killers that you have to go through. Only in getting it all do you get the pass. If you get like even one mistake, it's not a right answer. And yeah, it was big during lockdown. People lent into it. It's featured in Knives Out, Glass Onion. If you've ever seen the film,
I
you know
have
when
seen
Daniel,
that. Yeah, 100%.
you know when Daniel Craig's in the bath on his game.
Oh, that's what he's reading.
That's what's on the floor. That's Kane's jawbone. Yeah,
Oh, it's on the floor. Oh, gotcha.
yeah. And the
Wow.
Kane's Jawbone people of this was a fun book I did. The Kane's Jawbone people have also done like crosswords and riddles and puzzles, and they are ridiculous. Like they are
I
utterly
can imagine
ridiculous.
like 100 pages
Yeah.
out of order.
Well, that's
Not
just
to
the
be
murder
simple
mystery
crossword.
book itself, but the puzzle book series is well, you guys don't mind waiting a couple of minutes, I can go and get it for you. I can show you.
Yeah.
You know, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Welcome, Dinin. Hey, Dinin. Oh,
Hey, how you doing?
somebody lead the conversation for 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Well,
Oh.
since you're just arriving, then, and I suggest you choose the topic.
Oh, I don't know what was being discussed beforehand.
We were talking about Kane's Jawbone and like I guess just the what was it? The memory, the 100-day memory challenge. Ben was posting.
Okay, I'm
Anything like
back.
that. I'm not sure if. Oh, I'm on. Oh, perfect.
So
There we go.
focus. Yeah, well, it's the Kane's Jawbone book of crosswords, and I'm getting there. Let me find one of the ones. So, like, you know, there's one of the random ones, standard crossword in terms of how it's written. But like 17 across. Your clue is anonymous, but fits into next. That's the whole clue, right? 48 across. Knowing most of an apple. That's the whole clue. Like, so it's frustrating. Like I've had this book. Like I don't focus on them for a while, but I've had this book for maybe like 10 months, something like that, and I haven't done it yet. So it's very hard. Myrtle's much easier, but
Myrtle.
yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, Myrtle was well, I say was like it's ended. I don't know if it's ended. It's like Wordle, that type of thing, but it was murder based. I promise you, I'm a normal human being, right? I'm
No,
not
I'm the
just.
same way. I'm completely the same way.
Yeah, me too.
Robin, just
Anything
lying
like
to
that.
everyone about how normal you are.
In fact, I have.
You shut up,
Let me
Dylan,
see if I can
with your
find it.
flawless logic. But yeah, it was two books. That's all I found on it. I mean, I didn't look any further. I was told that it was a big online thing, but I don't really go in for that.
It's
Yeah.
definitely much
So-
easier than this crosswords, but I like solving those substitution cipher. Oh, it doesn't focus, but there are substitution ciphers, and it's like an app. You can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a bunch of them.
Oh, love that. Love that. And anything, right? His brain training in any sense. Use it, as in your brain. It can be anything. That's what I'm kind of on a one-man mission to do, is make sure the world starts using their brain a little bit more.
We need it.
That's
we
all,
need it.
mate. If I was cool enough to do the whole preach thing, I would. I would do that. I would do that. So what's everyone working on at the minute? Let's turn the topic away from me talking about everything and turn it towards you guys.
Yeah, I guess I can start. I did like my first post on Omniscient. Because
Yes.
ever since the kind of like platform was made, I was made aware of the platform. I was like, oh, maybe I can turn the stuff up here into like mini essays, little articles, or
Yeah.
something. So I did my first one. What was it? A couple days ago. Uploaded that, and that's something that I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure if that counts towards the challenge, because I saw the challenge. It was like, make sure you have receipts. So I had a receipt of like one of the deductions I made in the article, so you can see and stuff. So I guess I'm doing that. I'm just working on getting my 3 a week to start with. Maybe I'll go out more and stuff. Stop being such a basement dweller, and start putting this to use a bit more.
Well, mate, it's we've all got to start somewhere, right? We can be. No, what's a better way of saying it? The journey between theory and skill is practical use, right?
That's the part I fail on.
Yeah,
You
I've
are
been
not alone.
I've been recently forcing myself to go out a little bit more as well. It can be easy to just sort of hide away in your castle, but unless you're moving through groups of people, you'll lose track of what's going on around you.
Yeah,
Writing
100%.
is always good, even if nobody else ever reads it, just because it helps clarify your thoughts and organize everything. I've got a little blog thing that I do where I write as well, and almost nobody reads it, but that's not really its point. The point is to organize my thoughts about things.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
What's your blog? I'll
Yeah,
definitely read
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's Den and Freeman on Substack. Might
What happened then? It just went really abruptly.
Yeah, I try to kind of synthesize the old world of the samurai and ninja research that I do with the new world stuff with deduction and memory and all of that kind of thing to show where some of the through lines of some of these skills are that are transcend cultural and time-based differences.
Oh yeah. All right, I've just
Okay.
subscribed to it.
Love that. And right, this is what Dilling's point is. For me, it comes back to that Benedict Cumberbatch video I love. Stop thinking and just do.
Yeah.
That's the trouble with these skills. It requires so much thinking that we can become attached to it. Yeah.
Nice. I was gonna say on that note, I've also been doing kind of a little bit of writing, but my approach was more in the narrative because
Nice.
I did an investigation about a case that happened many years ago, and based on that, I decided to start writing a book. It's kind of a novel, but within the story, the characters use you know, deduction. So it's like a cat and mouse a kind of
Yeah.
chase, right? And so through that, trying to exercise that same thing, but from from a very hypothetical and fictional situation, right? But yes, I also try to uh, exercise that through writing. But I find it to be more difficult than what I thought it was going to be, because you have to write the rules for what it is that it is possible for the people to actually figure out, just so that you're aware of the confirmation bias that you as a writer already have, right? So yeah, it's a pretty fun exercise.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
love that.
huge writer. I love writing and stuff. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
I write like anything from mostly music and stuff, but I do love my stories and stuff. I love it because like when you're writing like a murder mystery, you get to kill someone and then you get to figure it out as well. You're like, what clues did I leave behind? What am I searching for here and stuff? It's a really interesting thing, as if you're like a god looking down and like playing it out
Yes.
yourself. It's really not like a god in that sense, but you're just like out of body sort of experience watching this crime unfold and seeing like how would someone solve it, sort of thing. Who was it I talked over? I apologize.
It will happen. We are a group of talkers, mate. So it will
Okay.
happen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a bit like playing chess against yourself in terms of the switching of the perspectives and the cat and mouse game. I tried to write a fiction novel a few years back, and then everything went to hell on me, and I never got around to trying to finish it. But it was interesting for sure. Again, even if it doesn't actually ever see the light of day, it's still useful to help you clarify things and figure things out for yourself.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. But it's also the exercise of, because you already know the details of what you're creating, you need to like level down and say, okay, the reader doesn't know all of the details. So what is it that I am not letting it out to be known? What is it that I might be missing? And it's kind of uh the exercise on what biases you have, right? Because you need to be aware of what it is that you're assuming to be truth, when in reality it's something that is not stated anywhere. So yeah, it's a very similar exercise I've figured.
Yeah, I had a similar thing when I did the short story for the Sherlock charity. Was I kind of I wrote an impossible puzzle with no solution. Then I was like, how do I solve that? How do I solve that? And yeah, that was pretty much a similar idea to it. You know what helped me, definitely a personal thing. And I'm a big advocate of its benefit for critical thinking anyway. And again, Yargo, I am totally biased in this area, mate. I am. It helped me understanding the mechanicry of magic tricks.
Mhm.
That genuinely helped, because that's the performative property of narrative mystery, isn't it? Is showing your audience one thing when something else is actually going on underneath, and showing them things on purpose at times in order to make them think, well, I'll try and make them think certain things at times. Like mine started with the how can I get Sherlock to admit he'd seen a ghost? Like, just that as an idea. How can I get Sherlock to admit he had seen a ghost? And like that was the whole thing. Like I love that Iago's taking his experience from cases. Like Billy, where do you take your writing experience from?
I'm heavily so I wrote like a movie script to start with. I figure a book is easier to publish, so I'm focusing on that now.
Nice.
The first I watched Knives Out and it became like my favorite movie ever, and I was like, oh, I could probably write something like that. And it was just that, and it's oh no, I'm always going through like little fantasies in my head, keep myself entertained, sort of thing. So I've had like these ideas before. I kind of just pull from that, little tricks and stuff. Just any sort of other art. they say like art imitates life, imitates art. So like you can find value in art from that, right? I guess I pull from like all the different things I'm inspired from. And I say, what can I do to kind of like make my twist on it, give my sort of like accent to a murder mystery or a treasure hunt or whatever kind of mystery it may be.
Nice, nice. I like that. Well, you know, as we are a small collective who are also experienced in writers, we should pool. You know, if there's ever anything I'm struggling with, I'll ask you guys, and then vice versa. You know, we can treat the community as that little separate area as well. Like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this kind of thing? You know,
That'd be
what,
great.
what's the point of having a connection to obsessive nerds around the world if we don't use them every now and again? Right?
That's true.
What is the point? What music do you play, Billy?
Me, I grew oh god, since all my teens and stuff, I was playing pop punk. So that sort of Blink-182, old school 2000s, 90 era. Now I'll play and write just about anything as long as it sounds good. I got so hyper focused on pop punk, I'm kind of bored of just doing one thing. So it'll be anything as long as it sounds good to me. I'm all going, and as long as it sounds like me, I'm happy to release it out into the wild, sort of thing. So yeah, a lot of sort of like 90s and 2000s influence still, but not primarily one genre there.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Do
On
you
that
play
note,
Go on, Yaga. Sorry.
yeah, sorry, I was just gonna ask Billy, on that note, how do you think playing music relates to your methods of, observation, deduction, whatever? So how do you think the two of them intertwine?
Gosh, that's a good fit. I don't think I've ever really utilized maybe like there's a lot of emotional quality in music, right? I think there's a lot of emotional understanding. Maybe that has helped. But the more you dig into that, the more experience you are digging into that, that helps you understand others and stuff, which can help with deductions, obviously, for the emotional side. I'm neurodivergent, so I don't rely on that sort of stuff. I like to look at cold, hard reason, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I can start unlocking that with the music. I haven't really thought of that before.
Nice.
Well,
I kind
you
of
could
kept them
always-
separate. It's like, this is part of me, this is part of me, sort of thing. Which
Yeah.
I say, I kind of say against in my little article that I posted recently. So I should really not be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever considered trying to use song lines to memorize information with the music that you write?
Yes, actually, I had an idea because I get ideas for little detectives and stuff in my mind. There was one that was like a musician. He was like highly neurodivergent, nonverbal sort of thing. And the whole idea was like he'd be talking to someone and he'd be like just doing like finger motions as if he was playing piano, or he'd be like tapping on the thing as like drums and stuff. And at the end, it would be all the information all together as like one big orchestra that all comes together beautifully and all plays on each other and stuff. And that was sort of like my idea of like a musician-based detective who was using the music skills in conjunction with that. That was sort of playful idea. I could probably do something like that. Lyrics are my sort of stomping grounds. That's my main thing. But yeah, no, I know Ben mentioned with the Muse song and I think it was London Underground, you said? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I've been wanting to play with that because I have not gotten to know. I've moved to Alberta 3 years ago. I have not gotten used to the area whatsoever. I drive now, so it's really bad. So I've been like, I want to look at a map and do something with that, maybe some songs just to figure out like where I am and that.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend's dad, he's amazing. He can tell you, and they're all numbered streets. In England, they're all names. It
Yeah.
completely fucked with me. And he'll say like 118th and 18th Avenue, and I'm like, yeah, those are numbers.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, we've got a few Canadians in the group that could probably help you as well.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, uh, two French Canadians, and David. David is around that area as well. David Levine, he's around that area.
Right.
But yeah. Oak Sites says my internet connection won't let me talk. Probably we could talk about how to improve any skill set because it's connected to mindset, memory, and reactions we have, like learning an instrument. Agreed. Agreed. Um, well, first thing that pops into my head then, Said, is it will start with whatever you enjoy in the area. It's much more challenging to learn something that you don't particularly enjoy because there's very little emotional salience there, and that's a big connector, especially for us neurodivergent lot, because the second it becomes boring, we tend to put it down.
That's true.
Oh, 100%.
That tends to be the case. But oftentimes with investigations, there's material that is sinfully boring, but completely important and pertinent to the investigation. The one thing that I always cite in this area, because it's such an extreme example, is I had to go through a 1,400-page WhatsApp transcript in one night. And that was the most boring thing I've ever done. That I know that's technically not learning a skill, but it's still learning, because it has to be done in the way. So finding what you enjoy within something first, which is why music is such an easy win. It's an easy win. I've yet to meet anyone, not that they don't exist, but I've yet to meet anyone that doesn't like any kind of music. They might like one or two songs, sure, but I've yet to meet anyone that doesn't like anything to do with music. It all connects to somebody in some sense, you know. So leaning into that is job one, and that's a difficult thing. It's an investigation in and of itself. That proverbial thing of finding why. Like I had a pokey fun thing with a friend of mine because he's a relationship coach, and I vehemently think that most of the stuff in that area is nonsense. is nonsense. So, but we have open conversations about it. Like, he's very religious. I'm not, and these kinds of things. We'll have discussions about it. Both sides are open to it. Anyway, and so he was talking about his partner and why she's so great and how in love they are. I went, that's awesome, mate. I'm really happy. Why do you love her? And he went, what? I went, okay, why? And he was like, well, she does this for me. I went, no. That's what she does that makes you feel good. Great. Love that. Why do you love her? And he goes, like I just told him that 2 + 2 is purple.
Similar reaction to when I asked somebody I was talking to why they were leaving. What was it? I told them that New Mexico doesn't actually exist. We all just agree it does. New Mexico, and he couldn't wrap his mind around the idea that it was a completely foreign concept to him.
Well, this is the thing. So finding your enjoyment in whatever it is that you're working on. That's the best answer to me for Said's question, but I'm curious what the rest of you guys think.
So I was going to mention a book that I read a while ago. It's called Ultra Learning. I think you most already know it or read it. And I think that's basically the best guide to learn everything, because it's hard to tell one thing that's going to apply for every kind of skill. But learning how you learn that skill, it's, I think, the fundamental thing, so you can learn things faster. in a more efficient way. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of those books that I've been reading recently is the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. And it has an emphasis on the martial elements, but there are a lot of elements to the book that transcend any one particular skill and talk about how to just get really, really good at anything that you're working at. And so Musashi talks a lot about the dedication and repetition of going through the practice sessions, but not just going through the motions, but trying to connect the spirit of the thing. So in martial situations, the idea is you're not just sitting there doing endless cuts with the sword, for example, because that's what he trained, but you are focusing with the intention of connecting to sort of the warrior's mindset and the spirit of the thing, and using each practice strike with the intention of it being a killing blow to develop that level of instinct so that when you actually apply the skill in the real world, you can connect to that energy immediately and you've developed the attitude of that. So one of the big things is figuring out what the attitude, the mindset, the energy of somebody who's really good at the thing you're trying to develop is, and then cultivating that throughout your practice sessions so that you're practicing with a lot more energy and intention and focus rather than just practicing endlessly without any real connection to what it is that you're doing. Envisioning yourself actually applying these things and then practicing it in the actual context that you're working with to develop that level of instinct with it.
I think
I love
that's
that.
actually great. What I said connects to something that I do kind of unconsciously. I learned how to do this for practicing. It is I don't try to learn a skill. I just set up a goal for doing something that I find is cool or that I think it's cool to have. And I try to make these things. And for me to do this thing or to learn this thing, I need to set milestones. So I have this major goal. It is, for example, I'm learning tricking now to learn a corkscrew. That's a trick. And so I need to learn the basic things first, and they have this as milestones to achieve the main goal. I think it's easier to like fraction the skill that you're learning, and you're going to get much further if you do this than you have just say, I want to learn parkour or something like this.
I love that.
Yeah, I
Paolo
love.
kind of stole mine on the first one, and I love what Denon said. I think how to improve any skill set. I guess this is more end goal. If you want to be like great at something, you got to do the shit that everyone else isn't doing, and that makes them only okay. Like let's say it's an instrument. I'm not great at guitar because I don't want to practice 8 hours a day, but there are people that'll sit there and they'll do their little exercises 8 hours a day on the guitar and they'll absolutely kill it and blow my mind. And I think that's part of what greatness can come from. It's not just talent, it is just doing the stuff that other people just won't do to get that good at it. Sorry, Yago.
Yeah, you have
Don't
to
worry.
practice to the point that it becomes instinctual and completely without thought. If you go, Miyamoto Musashi also talks about this, that if you go into a fight trying to pull off specific moves, you will lose. It's only if you've practiced the moves to the point that they become completely on instinct, on default. Bruce Lee, it hits all by itself. And you aren't thinking about what you're going to try to pull off and trying to plan out 17 moves ahead. You're just acting, and that is true as well for like with magic tricks. I can't pull off a magic trick that I still have to think about when I'm performing. I have to be able to just do it without thinking. And that takes doing the practicing of it so much that it just becomes ingrained into your muscle memory. And isn't something that you're trying to pull off.
Right, exactly. Just on that same topic, I was thinking one of the things that to me tends to work the most is simply sometimes I will have a goal, but while I am trying to develop a certain skill, I'm not necessarily driving to that goal, depending on the skill. But at times it is more like, okay, if I achieve this goal, it would be cool. But along the way, I am just gonna make like the biggest effort to just feel and be present in the activity like itself, because I have found that when I truly enjoy doing something, uh I tend to become uh good at it. And the problem is, if I don't really enjoy it, even if I need to develop that skill, I tend to suck at it because I am not like in the process, right? I am not like present. And but what I have found about that is that when you truly enjoy an activity, that invites genuine curiosity from you. And so you drive forward, and in a sense, I try to um do things that I enjoy because that same curiosity drives me sometimes away from biases and whatnot, which I still need to be aware of course, but that curiosity is what ends up helping me a lot. It's like going back full circle, like music or painting in my case, because I draw and I paint, and I have
Yeah.
found that when I paint people, I strip them from my biases towards them and my preconceptions. And so that's how that practice helps me in my observation, right? And because I don't know, it's just the curiosity as an exercise, it's kind of something that truly has helped me a lot.
Another good one is don't be too myopic about it. You need to have a lot of focus and a lot of intention, but whenever you're following a particular path, it helps to understand the paths of other disciplines so that you can take inspiration from them. And I keep ranting about this particular book, but it's because I've been, seeping it into my brain recently, and there's a lot of good points in it. And he talks about how the ways of other disciplines, the ways of craftsmen and the merchants, and how those different disciplines of his time applied to the warrior's path, and the different things that you can use to inspire your own way forward in terms of the metaphorical application of it, and understanding broadly about the world, and then also having a deep well of information about your one particular path. Those two things together will help you become really creative in your endeavors, because you aren't too myopic in the ways of doing things of your own discipline. You can start to take inspiration outside of it.
You can't go wrong with Noel Birch's ladder of competence and the secret fifth step of fuck it up as often as you possibly can. That's the best position to be in. Getting things wrong, failing, whatever you want to call it, is awesome, because there is no easier method to create a strong memory in your head, right? If you've ever have an ex-partner, right, of any kind, then you know exactly what not to go for in every other person that you meet by a result of that one encounter. That's the same thing with misses, like Dominic O'Brien, the 8-time world memory championship. He trains people in the disciplines and whatnot. And one of his students was asking about like why they can't break the 3-minute mark on memorizing a deck. And his question was, how many mistakes are you making? And she was like, none. Well, there's your problem. There's your problem. Because you're too enamored with failure. Like, I'm sure we're a musical family as well, Billy. So I'm sure with you as well. Like whenever it is that you're creating a play and you hit a bum note or something, you go, well, I know not to press that next time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
100%.
It's the best part, and for me, that's why the master skill of everything in life is your memory and your critical thinking. That's it. That's what all problems are built on failures in. That's what all degenerative conditions are built on failures in. It's what all radicalizations are built on failures in. It's what all successes are built on developments in. It supersedes everything. Then we can focus on how to learn after failing. Perfect. That's why I'm again, Said, I am such a big fan of tweaking little properties of your self-talk, which isn't as kind of, oh, let's go out and hug a tree as it sounds. It's literally just being a bit more kind to yourself, really. So like Billy Palo, you guys haven't taken any classes with me, so you won't know what an aversion I have to the word guess. Right? Because guessing implies no effort. And yet we are all reasoners. So there will never be a position where we are just guessing. So guessing is a vocalization of our fear. Remove it.
It's
Go on, mate.
sorry.
No,
I was
go
going
on.
to say, what's funny about that is I've actually used you for my memory image when memorizing kanji for the word guess, especially because there's two really close kanji. One is guess, and the other one is like a sort of nails on chalkboard word that's like right next to it, has the finger element. And so I've got you plugging your ears to the sound of someone guessing and it being right in your ears. And it's perfect. It's stuck 100%. It's first try.
I love it. 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 I mean, all that is to say, it's being a bit more rational about what you allow your brain to do. Like if you can't remember something immediately, instead of saying, I don't remember, go, I'll get it later. Just give yourself the space to do it. That's it. And it really opens things up in terms of the mastering of any skill set. So I'm not going to learn the G word in French for sure. Good. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a waste of your time. But yeah, I mean, the one thing that will stop you from learning is your emotional connection to it, regardless of any kind of neurodivergent or neurotypical or anything else that exists in between. If you don't feel like learning, you won't, whether it's from some sincere fear or some irrational fear. Either way, it is your feelings that will stop you. So get those in control, and the learning can go wherever you want to go. It's only as a matter of time, and that's a problem for learners. One of the things that I encounter with teaching about memory is, well, memory techniques I can do it really fast. I can do it really fast. Cool. You can memorize the first 1,000 words of French. That's totally a thing you could do, and it will get you well on your way to being semi-conversational. You ain't gonna have a clue about sentence structure unless you speak the damn language. It's the same with anything. We can learn about observational skills till we are blue in the face, but we're never going to have an assessment of how effective we are if without doing it. And that's my issue that I have with AI and cognitive offloading. We've substituted efficiency for success, and I can do it faster. Cool. What did you learn? There you go. You didn't really learn anything.
Yeah, I don't understand people who use AI to do the writing for them, because like half the point of writing is just to practice thinking better. And so if you're having somebody else, it's almost the same as paying somebody else to write that book for you instead of doing it yourself. It's like, I mean, you can't really say it's your book at that point. Like some people do, they'll sign little contracts that say it's their name is the only one that appears on the book, but like you didn't really write the book; it wasn't your ideas.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, if you didn't bother to write it, why the hell should I bother to read it? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, it's a gross sentiment. And I mean, me and one of the first podcasts me and Adam did on the whole AI boom a couple of years ago was when he asked me about a riddle, and the only reason that I was aware of that I solved the riddle so quickly was because I'd learned to write stories. So, and that because that's all a riddle is, it's just a story designed to make you focus on certain things. And because I'm used to not focusing on certain things in that way, it was just like, well, that's the answer. And it frustrated Adam beyond all reasonable detail because he'd sat with it for like a couple of days before he stumbled on the solution.
It was the door one.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Was the door one. Good man. Well done. But yeah, and that's what I maintain to be the reason for doing that. So yeah, so find what you like and fuck it up.
Yeah, one of the big through lines throughout all of this is just getting good feedback that's relatively timely and that actually points you in the right direction. So many people are it's one of the big things that people mess up when they're trying to become an expert in something. That's why there's so many fake experts out there, is that they never actually go out and use any of this stuff and apply it and then get the feedback from it. You know, even people who do use the stuff, if they're not taking notes on what went well, what didn't go well, and what they can do better, they're never going to actually improve. You know, and some disciplines is really difficult to get in because things can take years to resolve in the field, and so you're going to kind of forget. If you ever do get feedback on it, you're going to forget what it was that you did well the first time or did poorly the first time around, because it's like 3 years later, oh, okay, cool, the guy did get sentenced. So you have to almost be able to seek out getting feedback in a more timely fashion to build out the knowledge of what it is that's actually working so that you can actually improve, because otherwise you're basically just, you know, blindfolded throwing darts at the wall and no one's even telling you if you're hitting the darn thing. You don't even know if you're throwing it at the right wall.
I mean, that's why experts nowadays, given the push for, you know, kind of influencer position, these are the ones I'm about to pick on, Saeed. That's why they focus on teaching. Anyone can do that. Anyone can teach. Anyone. That woman that made an entire video picking on me. Anyone can write a book. She was right. Anyone can.
It's like that guy when he's watching like a fight and he tells how the fighter should have fought to win the fight. Oh, if I was him, I was going to do, and he never.
If I was in there, I'd just kick him in the balls and he'd be on the ground.
Because I know for a fact 90% of those men and women have no experience. Have no experience of practical nature. Which is why learning French became beneficial, because there's a guy whose name is Vincent Deneau, who worked for McGill University and used to work for the Deception Research Society. Most of his research now is into the effects of peddling pseudoscience through social media. And it's becoming annoying. So yeah, don't forget your practical sessions, gents, and any ladies watching from beyond. Caitlin could have done, excuse me, KC could have done with being in this session. She's a phenomenal pianist and a wonderful observer. She has a life. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, a lot of people, they will develop a certain amount of skill in something, but then they'll never push themselves outside of their comfort zone, outside of the beginning stages when they're just starting to get the hang of things. And that's where you end up getting in a plateau. You're not really pushing yourself hard enough to get outside of your comfort zone and really develop skills. So you're just kind of maintaining what you already know and are kind of stuck there in that little bubble. You were talking about earlier with the lady who couldn't push past the 3-minute mark because she was too afraid to ever make any mistakes. She's just stuck in her little comfort zone bubble, afraid to take the ego hit, getting something wrong, and never really progressed outside of that. It takes a lot of efforts to get really, really good at something. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to be mediocre.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Sherlock quote. Mediocrity knows nothing higher than of itself. There you go.
That's
Nice.
really cool.
We can.
Another big problem is a lot of people, especially like within the body language expert domain, is you see this pretty much everywhere as well, is the idea of quick tricks and simple bullet points that you can keep in mind that'll give you an incredible ability. And none of those tricks are actually worth a damn, because the point isn't having a list of ideas in your head that you reference when you're out doing things. The idea is to develop through constant practice a real flexible skill that you can apply in any set of circumstances, because you have the level of practice and repetition in there to be able to do that. Somebody who's really good at reading and understanding people, generally speaking, they aren't running through bullet lists of body language cues in their head to try to spot and then read one-to-one. They've gotten just really good at feeling out the other person and watching them really closely, and then thinking critically about the way that they behave and what that implies about them. A similar problem was starting to show up in the Edo era of Japan with the sword schools that Miyamoto Musashi was critiquing, where they would practice these really flowery, really pretty skills with the blade and have never actually been in a fight. And so they had no idea how any of it actually worked. And they've forgotten entirely the point of working with a sword, which is to kill the enemy as quickly as possible. And they instead try to use these flashy techniques to lure in students who will see how cool and clever they are for being able to, do all of these flashy techniques. But when it actually comes to real fighting, they have no idea what they're doing. We see the same thing going on nowadays.
100%, mate. There was a good video on this on YouTube. It was like 6 martial arts experts in a bar fight, and they padded everyone up and whatnot, but it was just to simulate a bar fight scenario, rather than going like, whatever bollocks it is that someone is focusing on, and all 6 experts had the shit beaten out of them. Just from bar fighters, and that's the thing that you need to explain. That's the thing that practical exposure gets you, is the way things translate to real life. Right? In every 100 observations of a folded arms, one person might totally be disagreeing with you, right? They might 100% be doing that, but there's 99 other versions, which then become 99 different versions depending upon the country, which then become 99 different versions depending upon how much sleep they had that night, or whether they're hungry, or whether they like you, or whether they don't, or whether they're late, or whether they're early, or which is why the whole notion is so irritating of hacking. The second I hear, use these hacks to shortcut your learning, I'm like, well, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about then. You haven't got a clue.
Mm-hmm. That's that also connects really well to the sort of the samurai ninja stuff that I'm into as well, because that's one of the reasons why I really like your approach with thermodynamics of body language as well, which also connects to sort of the less esoteric readings of the idea of chi being just energy in the way that someone is expressing themselves, and the things that sort of the ninja would do to get into somebody's mindset, which is, instead of trying to have all these clever tricks, you just study the person really carefully and you try to get into their world and into their mindset and sort of embody the spirit of the thing itself, to kind of paraphrase Miyamoto Musashi again. And that's how you get to actually understand the other person, is by sort of reading their, to sound really esoteric about it, but to read their spirits rather than to be too focused on, you know, all of these fancy categories that you have for things, and the typological sort of approach to body language, like we see with programs like what's it called? Periodic table of elements, or the behavioral table, of whatever that thing was. You know, all of these discrete things are going to do you no good if you aren't able to just read the person in context and feel out the emotions and energy of the other person, and are instead trying to be too overly analytical and categorizing everything that they do. In Taoism, there's a concept of the Tao, called Tao, is not the eternal Tao. The named is the mother of 10,000 things, and the nameless is the progenitor of everything that is. You know, there's always a disconnect between what our words can really handle and what the reality of the situation actually is. And if you don't know how to connect to the thing itself, all of the words in the world aren't going to do you any good. The words are only useful as a pointer to the thing, not as the thing itself.
Agreed, mate. Agreed.
I'm going to. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it,
Sorry.
mate. No, you got to carry on.
Oh, I was gonna say that it's a fictional character, of course, but one that does it the best, the most realistic, at least in my opinion, is actually House, because he's not doing, oh, you move your lip this direction. He's going to give you a more broad answer of how he know that someone else is lying, or like Chase just told me that your top is cheating on your wife or something like this. It's more broad than just a direct indicator of, oh, he's lying because he twitched his lip.
Yeah, I mean, to quote one person's very tattooed TED talk, the world doesn't need more perfect answers. It needs people prepared to work for. I just see Said's comment. Yeah. Oh, the stories I could tell you guys, I tell you. But I shan't, because I'm a good boy. Anyway, but yeah, the House process is reflective. To that end, the more current versions of Sherlock is reflective of the process. Psych, reflective of the process. The Mentalist, reflective of the process. They all get things wrong and learn from it. That's it. Right?
So
I mean, granted, because it's TV, they get less things wrong. But if we look at that as an observation, they get things wrong and learn from it. It informs them as they go. I'm gonna stick a pin in it though, Denny. Sorry, mate, just because we are at time, and I do have to go. But gents, it's been a wonderful hang. This video will be added to the community pages as well, so you can download it if you want. And so everyone else who couldn't make it will be able to watch them too. They'll be kind of what's the word? Archived. They'll be archived. But yeah. With that in mind, I'll love you and leave you, and I'll maybe see you next week. If not, have a good one.
Absolutely.
See you all soon, folks.
See you.